Do you want to successfully complete the CompTIA Network Plus exam? Then you are in the right place. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, where thousands of students have found their path to exam success. Our website provides completely free access to over 300 practice questions with detailed explanations and comprehensive study guides covering every exam objective. Everything you need for success on your first attempt for free. In this video, we will cover questions from networking fundamentals, network implementations, network operations, network security, and network troubleshooting. So, let's get started. 1. A network administrator is trying to understand how data flows logically between different servers and applications for a critical business process, irrespective of the physical server locations or specific cable runs. Which type of network diagram would best provide this high-level process-oriented view? A. Rack diagram. B. Layer 1. Physical diagram. C. Logical network diagram. D. Cable map. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Logical network diagram. Explanation. Option C is correct because a logical network diagram illustrates how data flows and how devices communicate with each other at a higher level, like Layer 3, focusing on the relationships and data paths rather than the physical layout. Option A, rack diagram, is incorrect because it only shows the physical arrangement of equipment within a server rack. Option B, Layer 1 physical diagram, is incorrect because it details the physical connections, like cable types and ports, not the logical data flow. Option D, cable map, is incorrect because it specifically documents individual cable runs and their termination points, which is a physical detail. Two. A company is performing an audit of its IT assets. They need to quickly identify which software applications are installed on each server, how many licenses they own for each application, and when those licenses are due for renewal. Which type of documentation would be most crucial for this task? A. Network topology diagram. B. Asset inventory, including software and licensing details. C. Service level agreement, SLA. D. End of life, EEOL, schedule for hardware. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Asset inventory, including software and licensing details. Explanation. Option B is correct because an asset inventory is specifically designed to track IT assets. A comprehensive inventory would include software installations, license keys, purchase dates, and renewal information, making it the essential document for a licensing audit. Option A, network topology diagram, is incorrect because it shows how network devices are connected, not software licensing details. Option C, Service Level Agreement, SLA, is incorrect because it defines service expectations between a provider and a customer. Option D, End of Life, EOL Schedule for Hardware, is incorrect because it tracks when hardware is no longer supported, not current software licenses. 3. A network engineer is planning to deploy a new wireless network across a large office building. Before purchasing and installing access points, they want to predict Wi-Fi signal strength, coverage areas, and potential interference zones. What type of survey and its resulting documentation would be most helpful for this planning phase? A. A physical cable audit. B. A network port availability report. C. A wireless survey and resulting heat map. D. An IP address allocation plan. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. A wireless survey and resulting heat map. Explanation. Option C is correct because a wireless survey involves using specialized software to model and predict RF behavior. The resulting heat map provides a visual overlay of signal strength on a floor plan, which is crucial for planning AP placement to ensure optimal coverage and minimize interference. Option A, a physical cable audit, is incorrect because it pertains to the wired network infrastructure, not wireless signal coverage. Option B, a network port availability report, is incorrect because it deals with switch capacity, not Wi-Fi signal planning. Option D, an IP address allocation plan, is incorrect because it is for logical network addressing, which is planned after coverage is determined. 4. A critical network switch in your organization is approaching its manufacturer-announced end of life (EOL) date. What is the primary implication of a device reaching its EOL date for the IT department? A. The device will immediately stop functioning on the EOL date. B. The manufacturer will no longer sell that specific model. C. The manufacturer will no longer provide any software updates, security patches, or technical support for the device. D. The device's warranty will be automatically extended for 1 more year. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. The manufacturer will no longer provide any software updates, security patches, or technical support for the device. Explanation. Option C is correct because the most significant implication of a device reaching its end-of-life (EOL) date is the cessation of support from the manufacturer. This includes critical security patches and software updates, posing a major security and operational risk. Option A, the device will immediately stop functioning on the EOL date, is incorrect because devices continue to function past their EOL date, just without support. Option B, the manufacturer will no longer sell that specific model, is incorrect because while true, the loss of support is the more critical operational impact. Option D, the device's warranty will be automatically extended for 1 more year, is incorrect because EOL signifies the end of all support and warranty periods, not an extension. 5. An IT department has a strict policy that any changes to the production network, such as reconfiguring a firewall or upgrading switch firmware, must first be documented, reviewed, and approved before implementation. What is this formal organizational process called? A. Asset management. B. Incident management. C. Change management. D. Capacity planning. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Change management. Explanation. Option C is correct because change management is the formal IT process used to ensure that any changes to production systems are controlled, coordinated, and approved to minimize risk and disruption. Option A, asset management, is incorrect because it involves tracking and managing IT assets throughout their life cycle. Option B, incident management, is incorrect because it is the process of responding to and resolving unplanned service interruptions. Option D, capacity planning, is incorrect because it is the process of forecasting future resource needs to ensure service availability. 6. A network team wants to ensure that all newly deployed routers and switches are configured consistently with the company's security standards, IP addressing scheme, and management settings. They create a standardized, pre-tested configuration file that serves as a template for all new devices of a specific model. What is this standardized template configuration often called? A. A running configuration. B. A startup configuration. C. A baseline or golden configuration. D. A dynamic configuration. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. A baseline or golden configuration. Explanation. Option C is correct because a baseline or golden configuration is a standardized, approved, and tested configuration that serves as the foundation for new devices. Using a baseline ensures consistency, security, and compliance across the network. Option A, a running configuration, is incorrect because it is the currently active configuration on a live device, which may have deviated from the baseline. Option B, a startup configuration, is incorrect because it is the configuration file that a device loads on boot. While it should be based on the baseline, baseline is the term for the standard itself. Option D, a dynamic configuration, is incorrect because it is not a standard term for a configuration template. It usually refers to settings learned automatically, like from DHCP. 7. A network monitoring system, NMS, is configured to receive unsolicited notifications from network devices, like routers and switches, whenever a significant event occurs, such as a link going down or a device rebooting. What SNMP message type is used by devices to send these asynchronous alerts to the NMS? A. SNMP GET. B. SNMP SET. C. SNMP TRAP. D. SNMP WALK. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. SNMP TRAP. Explanation. Option C is correct because an SNMP trap is an unsolicited asynchronous message sent from an SNMP agent on a device to a central NMS. It is used to report significant events proactively, without waiting for the NMS to poll the device. Option A, SNMP GET, is incorrect because it is a request initiated by the NMS to retrieve a specific piece of data from a device. Option B, SNMP SET, is incorrect because it is a request initiated by the NMS to change a configuration value on a device. Option D, SNMP WALK, is incorrect because it is a series of GET requests initiated by the NMS to retrieve a large block of data. 8. A network administrator is configuring SNMPv3 on a new switch for secure network monitoring. Unlike SNMPv1 and SNMPv2c, which use simple community strings for access control, SNMPv3 provides enhanced security. Which of the following is a key security feature provided by SNMPv3 that is not present in v2c? A. Support for a hierarchical management information base, MIB. B. The ability to retrieve bulk data using GetBulk requests. C. User-based authentication and message encryption. D. The use of well-known UDP ports 161 and 162. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. User-based authentication and message encryption. Explanation. Option C is correct because SNMPv3's primary enhancement is its robust security module, which includes authenticating the source of a message and encrypting the message payload. This protects against unauthorized access and eavesdropping, which are major vulnerabilities in the community. String-based SNMPv1/v2c. Option A, support for a hierarchical management information base, MIB, is incorrect because all versions of SNMP use MIBs. Option B, The ability to retrieve bulk data using getBulk requests is incorrect because this feature was introduced in SNMP v2c. Option D. The use of well-known UDP ports 161 and 162 is incorrect because these ports are standard for all versions of SNMP. 9. To gain detailed insight into the types of applications and protocols consuming bandwidth on a specific network link, a network engineer configures a router to collect metadata about traffic flows. This metadata includes source, destination IP addresses, source, destination ports, and protocols, but not the actual packet payload. Which technology is commonly used to collect this type of traffic flow information? A. Full packet capture. B. SNMP MIB polling. C. NetFlow, SFlow, or IPFX flow data. D. Syslog message analysis. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. NetFlow, SFlow, or IPFX flow data. Explanation. Option C is correct because protocols like NetFlow, SFlow, and IPFix are designed to collect and export metadata about traffic flows. This provides valuable insight into what type of traffic is traversing the network, for example, web, email, video, without the high overhead of capturing every single packet's payload. Option A, full packet capture, is incorrect because it captures the entire content of packets, which is much more resource-intensive than collecting flow data. Option B, SNMP MIB polling, is incorrect because it retrieves device health and interface counters, not detailed information about traffic composition. Option D, Syslog message analysis, is incorrect because it involves collecting event logs from devices, not traffic flow statistics. 10. A company is experiencing intermittent network slowdowns. To diagnose the issue, a network technician needs to capture and inspect the actual contents of network packets traversing a specific switch port connected to a problematic server. Which switch feature allows the technician to copy all traffic from one port to another port where a monitoring device or packet analyzer is connected? A. VLAN trunking. B. Link aggregation. C. Port mirroring. Or SPAN. D. DHCP snooping. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Port mirroring or SPAN. Explanation. Option C is correct because port mirroring, also known as SPAN, switched port analyzer, is a switch feature that duplicates the traffic from a source port and sends it to a destination port. This allows a packet analyzer to be connected to the destination port to non-intrusively capture and analyze traffic. Option A, VLAN trunking, is incorrect because it allows a port to carry traffic from multiple VLANs. Option B, link aggregation, is incorrect because it bundles multiple links into a single logical channel for more bandwidth. Option D, DHCP snooping, is incorrect because it is a security feature to prevent rogue DHCP servers. 11. A Network Operations Center, NOC, uses a centralized system to collect, store, and analyze log messages, like status updates, errors, and security events, from hundreds of network devices, servers, and firewalls across the enterprise. This helps with troubleshooting, security auditing, and compliance. What is this type of centralized log collection server commonly called? A. An SNMP manager. B. A radius server. C. A syslog collector/server. D. A DNS resolver. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C. A syslog collector/server. Explanation. Option C is correct, because a CIS log collector or server is specifically designed to receive, store, and manage event log messages sent from various network devices using the CIS log protocol. This centralization is essential for effective monitoring and analysis. Option A, an SNMP manager, is incorrect because it collects performance and status data via SNMP, not event logs via CIS log. Option B, a radius server, is incorrect because it is used for centralized authentication, authorization, and accounting. Triple A. Option D, a DNS resolver, is incorrect because it is used to resolve domain names into IP addresses. 12. A financial institution deploys a sophisticated security system that not only collects logs from various sources, firewalls, IDS, IPS, servers, applications, but also correlates these events, applies analytics, and generates alerts for potential security incidents in real time. It provides a comprehensive view of the organization's security posture. What is this type of system called? A, a network packet broker. B, a simple syslog server. C, security information and event management, SIEM. D, an IP address management, IPAM system. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C, security information and event management, CEM. Explanation. Option C is correct because a security information and event management, SIEM, system is an advanced security solution that goes beyond simple log collection. It aggregates data, correlates events from multiple sources, and uses analytics to identify and alert on potential security threats in real time. Option A, a network packet broker, is incorrect because it is a device used to distribute copies of network traffic to various monitoring tools. Option B, a simple syslog server, is incorrect because it primarily just collects and stores logs, lacking the advanced correlation and analysis capabilities of a SIEM. Option D, an IP address management, IPAM system, is incorrect because it is used for managing a network's IP address space. 13. A company defines that in the event of a major disaster, they can afford to lose no more than 4 hours of data from their primary database. This means the backups or replication must ensure that data can be restored to a state that is, at most, 4 hours old. What is this disaster recovery metric called? A, recovery time objective, RTO. B, mean time between failures, MTBF. C, recovery point objective, RPO. D, mean time to repair, MTTR. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C, recovery point objective, RPO. Explanation. Option C is correct because the recovery point objective, RPO, defines the maximum acceptable amount of data loss, measured in time. An RPO of 4 hours dictates that the business must be able to recover data from a point in time no more than 4 hours before the incident. Option A, recovery time objective, RTO, is incorrect because it specifies how quickly the service must be restored, not the tolerance for data loss. Option B, mean time between failures, MTBF, is incorrect because it is a reliability metric indicating the average time a system operates before a failure. Option D, mean time to repair, MTTR, is incorrect because it is the average time it takes to repair a failed component. 14. A business has a critical application that must be back online within 1 hour after a disaster declaration. This 1 hour time frame is the maximum allowable downtime for that application before serious business impact occurs. What disaster recovery metric does this 1 hour window represent? A. Recovery Point Objective, RPO. B. Recovery Time Objective, RTO. C. Service Level Agreement, Uptime. D. Maximum Tolerable Period of Disruption, MTPD. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Recovery Time Objective, RTO. Explanation. Option B is correct because the Recovery Time Objective, RTO, is a metric that defines the target time within which a business process must be restored after a disaster to avoid unacceptable consequences. An RTO of 1 hour means the goal is to have the application running again within 1 hour. Option A, Recovery Point Objective, RPO, is incorrect because it defines the acceptable amount of data loss, not the time to restore the service. Option C, Service Level Agreement, Uptime, is incorrect because it is a contractual measure of availability, often calculated over longer periods like a month or a year. Option D, Maximum Tolerable Period of Disruption, MTPD, is incorrect because it defines the absolute maximum time a business can survive without a specific function, which is a business continuity metric. RTO is the operational IT target to meet that need. 15. A company wants to set up a disaster recovery site. They choose a location that has basic office space, power, and network connectivity, but no pre-installed computer hardware or pre-configured systems. In the event of a disaster, they would need to ship in and set up all their servers and restore data from backups. Which type of DR site is this? A. Hot site, B. Warm site, C. Cold site, D. Mirrored site. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Cold site. Explanation. Option C is correct because a cold site is a disaster recovery location with only the basic infrastructure: space, power, cooling, connectivity. It is the most inexpensive option, but has the longest recovery time, RTO, because all IT equipment must be shipped, installed, and configured after the disaster strikes. Option A, hot site, is incorrect because it is a fully equipped, ready-to-go duplicate of the primary site. Option B, warm site, is incorrect because it is a compromise, having some pre-installed hardware but requiring final configuration and data restoration. Option D, mirrored site, is incorrect because it is a type of hot site with real-time data replication, offering nearly instantaneous failover. 16. A company operates an e-commerce website that requires very high availability. They have deployed their web servers and databases in 2 separate data centers. Both data centers are fully operational, actively processing user traffic simultaneously, and data is continuously replicated between them. If one data center fails, the other can handle the full load without interruption. What is this high availability approach called? A. Active-passive, B. Cold standby, C. Active-active, D. Warm standby. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, C. Active-active. Explanation. Option C is correct because in an active-active configuration, multiple sites or systems are online and serving production traffic simultaneously. This provides high availability and load distribution, and if one site fails, the others are already running and can seamlessly take over the full workload. Option A, active-passive, is incorrect because one site would be active, while the other would be on standby, not serving traffic. Option B, cold standby, is incorrect because the backup system would be powered off and would take a long time to bring online. Option D, warm standby, is incorrect because the backup system would be on, but would still require some configuration or data updates before it could take over. "17. As part of their disaster recovery plan, an IT team gathers in a conference room to discuss a simulated disaster scenario. For example, a fire has destroyed the primary data center. They walk through the DR plan step by step, discussing roles, responsibilities, procedures, and potential issues without actually touching any systems or failing over. What type of DR test is this? A. Full interruption test. B. Parallel test. C. Simulation test. D. Tabletop exercise. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer: D. Tabletop exercise. Explanation: Option D is correct because a tabletop exercise is a discussion-based drill where team members convene to talk through their roles and responses during a simulated emergency, using the DR plan as a guide. It is a low-risk, low-cost way to identify flaws and improve the plan. Option A, full interruption test, is incorrect because it involves actually shutting down the primary site, which is the most disruptive and highest risk test. Option B, parallel test, is incorrect because it involves activating the recovery systems in parallel with the production systems, but without switching over. Option C, simulation test, is incorrect because it is typically a more functionally driven test, whereas a tabletop exercise is purely discussion-based. 18. A network administrator wants to ensure that a specific server on the LAN, for example, a print server, always receives the same IP address from the DHCP server, even though it's configured to obtain its IP address automatically. This makes it easier for users to access the server consistently. What DHCP feature should be configured to achieve this? A. DHCP scope option. B. DHCP lease time extension. C. DHCP reservation. D. DHCP exclusion range. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer: C. DHCP reservation. Explanation: Option C is correct because a DHCP reservation creates a permanent IP address assignment within a DHCP scope. It works by mapping a specific IP address to the unique MAC address of a device, ensuring that the device always receives the same IP address every time it requests one. Option A, DHCP scope option, is incorrect because options are additional parameters, like DNS servers or gateway, that are delivered along with an IP address. Option B, DHCP lease time extension, is incorrect because it controls how long a client can use an IP address, not which specific address it gets. Option D, DHCP exclusion range, is incorrect because it prevents the DHCP server from assigning addresses from a specific range, typically for devices that are manually configured with a static IP. 19. A company has a DHCP server that provides IP addresses to clients on its local subnet, 192.168, 1.0/24. They have another subnet, 192.168, 2.0/24, in a different VLAN, and clients in this VLAN also need to obtain IP addresses from the same central DHCP server, since DHCP requests are normally broadcast and don't cross routers. What needs to be configured on the router interface serving the 192.168, 2.0/24 subnet to allow these DHCP requests to reach the server? A. A static route to the DHCP server. B. A DHCP exclusion for the 192.168, 1.0/24 network. C. A DHCP relay agent /IP helper. Address D. A secondary IP address on the DHCP server in the 192.168 2.0/24 range. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. A DHCP relay agent / IP helper address. Explanation. Option C is correct because a DHCP relay agent, configured on a router with a command like IP helper address, is needed to forward DHCP broadcast requests from clients on one subnet to a DHCP server on a different subnet. The agent converts the broadcast to a unicast message directed at the DHCP server. Option A, a static route to the DHCP server, is incorrect because routers do not forward Layer 2 broadcasts by default, which is how initial DHCP requests are sent. Option B, a DHCP exclusion for the 192.168 1.0/24 network, is incorrect because exclusions are for reserving IPs, not for relaying requests. Option D, a secondary IP address on the DHCP server in the 192.168 2.0/24 range, is incorrect because this is not necessary if a relay agent is used and is a less scalable solution. 20. To enhance the security and integrity of DNS lookups, a technology can be used that allows DNS resolvers to cryptographically verify that the DNS records they receive from authoritative servers have not been tampered with and actually originated from the correct source. This involves using digital signatures for DNS data. What is this security extension to DNS called? A. DNS over HTTPS, DOH. B. DNS over TLS, DOT. C. DNS security extensions, DNSSEC. D. Split horizon DNS. Can you guess the answer? Correct. Answer C. DNS security extensions, DNSSEC. Explanation. Option C is correct because DNS security extensions, DNSSEC, is designed to provide authenticity and integrity to DNS data. It works by digitally signing DNS records, allowing a resolver to verify that the information came from the legitimate source and was not altered in transit, thus protecting against cache poisoning attacks. Option A, DNS over HTTPS, DOH, is incorrect because it encrypts the communication channel between a client and resolver for privacy, but does not validate the integrity of the DNS records themselves. Option B, DNS over TLS, DOT, is incorrect because it also provides transport layer privacy, similar to DOH. Option D, split horizon DNS, is incorrect because it is a technique for providing different DNS answers based on the location of the querier, internal versus external. 21. A user types www.example.com into their browser. The browser needs to find the IP address for this domain. It sends a query to its configured DNS resolver. The resolver, if it doesn't have the answer cached, will then query other DNS servers, starting from the root servers, then TLD servers, then authoritative servers, for example .com, until it gets the answer. What type of DNS query process best describes the action of this initial resolver? A. Iterative query. B. Recursive query. C. Authoritative query. D. Zone transfer request. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. B. Recursive query. Explanation. Option B is correct because a recursive query is one where the client asks its designated DNS server to perform the complete resolution on its behalf and return a final answer. The client expects the server to do all the work. The server itself will then perform iterative queries to find the answer. Option A, iterative query, is incorrect because this describes the process where a server responds with the best answer it has, which might be a referral to another server. This is how the recursive resolver talks to other DNS servers. Option C, authoritative query, is incorrect because this refers to a query made to a server that holds the definitive records for that specific domain. Option D, zone transfer request, is incorrect because this is a process for replicating DNS data between primary and secondary servers. 22. A network technician is troubleshooting why a newly configured server cannot be reached by its hostname, server, 1.localnet, but can be reached by its IP address. The technician suspects a name resolution issue. Besides checking DNS server configuration on the client and server, what local file on a Windows or Linux client might be overriding or providing name resolution for server, 1.localnet? A. The LM hosts file. B. The hosts file. C. The services file. D. The networks file. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer, B. The hosts file. Explanation. Option B is correct because the hosts file on a client operating system is a local text file that maps host names to IP addresses. Operating systems typically check this file for a matching entry before sending a query to a DNS server, so it can be used to override or provide local name resolution. Option A, the LM hosts file, is incorrect because it is a similar file, but is used specifically for the legacy NetBIOS name resolution protocol. Option C, the services file, is incorrect because it maps protocol names like HTTP, FTP to port numbers. Option D, the networks file, is incorrect because it is a largely obsolete file that was used to map network names to network numbers. 23. Many organizations are adopting VPN solutions that allow remote users to connect securely to the corporate network using a standard web browser, without needing to install dedicated VPN client software on their devices. What type of VPN is this? A. Site-to-site VPN. In B, client-to-site VPN with a thick client. C, clientless SSL VPN. D, IPsec tunnel mode VPN. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, C, clientless SSL VPN. Explanation. Option C is correct because a clientless SSL VPN provides secure remote access to network resources through a web browser. This eliminates the need for end users to install and configure dedicated VPN client software, simplifying deployment and access from unmanaged devices. Option A, site-to-site VPN, is incorrect because it connects two entire networks together, not an individual remote user. Option B, client-to-site VPN with a thick client, is incorrect because it explicitly requires the installation of dedicated VPN software on the user's device. Option D, IPsec tunnel mode VPN, is incorrect because while IPsec is a VPN protocol, it typically requires a client and is not inherently clientless. 24. When configuring a client-to-site VPN for remote users, an administrator has to decide how traffic from the remote user's machine will be routed. One option is to send all traffic from the user's machine, internet-bound and corporate-bound, through the VPN tunnel to the corporate network. What is this VPN configuration called? A. Split tunnel. B. Full tunnel. C. Transparent tunnel. D. Partial tunnel. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. Full tunnel. Explanation. Option B is correct because a full tunnel VPN configuration forces all network traffic from the client device through the encrypted VPN tunnel. This allows the corporation to inspect and secure all traffic, but uses more bandwidth and can be slower for the user's general internet browsing. Option A, split tunnel, is incorrect because it is the opposite approach, where only traffic destined for the corporate network goes through the tunnel, while internet traffic goes directly out. Option C, transparent tunnel, is not a standard term for this configuration. Option D, partial tunnel, is not a standard term for this configuration. 25. A network administrator needs to securely connect to the command line interface, CLI, of a remote router over an untrusted network to perform configuration tasks. Which protocol provides encrypted terminal access and is the recommended replacement for the insecure Telnet protocol? A, HTTP, B, FTP, C, SNMP, D, SSH, Secure Shell. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. D, SSH, Secure Shell. Explanation. Option D is correct because SSH, Secure Shell, is a cryptographic protocol specifically designed to provide secure, encrypted command line access over an unsecured network. It is the industry standard for secure remote management, directly replacing the insecure Telnet protocol, which transmits credentials and data in clear text. Option A, HTTP, is incorrect because it is the protocol for web browsing. Option B, FTP, is incorrect because it is a protocol for file transfer and is also insecure by default. Option C, SNMP, is incorrect because it is a protocol for network monitoring and management, not interactive terminal access. 26. A network engineer needs to make an emergency configuration change on a core switch that has lost its regular network connectivity. Its IP-based management interface is unreachable. What physical connection method would allow the engineer to access the switch's command line interface directly, bypassing the network? A, connecting via SSH to its management IP address. B, accessing its web-based GUI. C, using a console cable connected to the switch's console port and a terminal emulator on a laptop. D, sending SNMP set commands. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C, using a console cable connected to the switch's console port and a terminal emulator on a laptop. Explanation. Option C is correct because the console port provides direct out-of-band access to a device's command line. This physical connection bypasses the network interfaces, allowing an administrator to log in and troubleshoot even when IP connectivity is completely down. Option A, connecting via SSH to its management IP address, is incorrect because this is an in-band method that relies on network connectivity, which is stated to be unavailable. Option B, accessing its web-based GUI, is incorrect because this also relies on network connectivity. Option D, sending SNMP set commands, is incorrect because this also relies on network connectivity. 27. A company has a highly secure network segment containing critical servers. To manage these servers, administrators are not allowed to connect directly from their workstations. Instead, they must first connect to a hardened intermediary server, and from that server, they can then initiate management connections, like SSH or RDP, to the critical servers. What is this intermediary server commonly called? A, a DNS server. B, a radius server. C, a jump box or jump host, bastion host. D, a load balancer. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C, a jump box or jump host, bastion host. Explanation. Option C is correct because a jump box, also called a jump host or bastion host, is a hardened and heavily monitored server that acts as a secure access gateway to a protected network segment. It provides a single controlled point of entry for administrators, improving security and accountability. Option A DNS server, is incorrect because its purpose is name resolution. Option B, a radius server, is incorrect because its purpose is centralized authentication. Option D, a load balancer, is incorrect because its purpose is to distribute traffic among multiple servers. 28. Managing network devices using their regular data network interfaces, for example SSHing to an IP address that is also used for user traffic, is known as one type of management. Managing them via a completely separate, dedicated network infrastructure, for example using console ports or dedicated management Ethernet ports connected to a separate management network, is known as another. What are these two contrasting management approaches? A. Internal versus external management. B. In-band versus out-of-band management. C. Active versus passive management. D. Synchronous versus asynchronous management. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. In-band versus out-of-band management. Explanation. Option B is correct because these terms precisely describe the two approaches. In-band management uses the same network that carries production data traffic for management. Out-of-band management, OOBM, uses a separate, dedicated network infrastructure, which provides access even when the production network is down. Option A, internal versus external management, is not a standard term for these methods. Option C, active versus passive management, is not a standard term for these methods. Option D, synchronous versus asynchronous management, is not a standard term for these methods. 29. A company uses a system to keep track of all its network devices, their IP addresses, assigned host names, locations, and responsible administrators. This system helps prevent IP address conflicts and provides a central repository for network addressing information. What is this system or practice commonly called? A. Configuration Management Database, CMDB. B. IP Address Management, IPAM. C. Network Monitoring System, NMS. D. Service Catalog. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. IP Address Management, IPAM. Explanation. Option B is correct because IP Address Management, IPAM, is the specific practice and set of tools used for planning, tracking, and managing the IP address space in a network. IPAM systems are crucial for preventing IP conflicts and maintaining an organized, documented network. Option A, Configuration Management Database, CMDB, is incorrect because it is a broader repository for all IT configuration items and their relationships, of which IPAM is a component. Option C, Network Monitoring System, NMS, is incorrect because it is used for real-time monitoring of network performance and status. Option D, Service Catalog, is incorrect because it is a list of IT services offered to end users. 30. A new network administrator joins a company and is tasked with troubleshooting a connectivity issue in a specific office area to understand which switch port a user's wall jack connects to and how that switch connects to the rest of the network infrastructure. Which two types of diagrams would be most immediately useful? A. Logical Application Flow Diagram and Wireless Heat Map. B. Rack diagram and service level agreement. C. Cable map diagram and layer 1. Physical network diagram. D. Asset inventory and change management log. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Cable map diagram and layer 1. Physical network diagram. Explanation. Option C is correct because a cable map would trace the specific cable run from the user's wall jack to a patch panel, and a layer 1 physical diagram would show how that patch panel port connects to a specific switch port and how that switch is physically connected to the wider network. Together, they provide the necessary physical connectivity information. Option A, logical application flow diagram and wireless heat map, is incorrect because one is logical, not physical, and the other pertains to wireless, not a wired connection. Option B, rack diagram and service level agreement, is incorrect because while a rack diagram is useful, an SLA is irrelevant for this troubleshooting task. Option D, asset inventory and change management log, is incorrect because these documents do not show the physical port level connectivity needed. Struggling with your IT certification exams? We've all been there. Welcome to MyITCerts.com, your ultimate resource for IT exam success. Find over 15,000 plus questions and answers. Join our thriving community of over 10,000 plus active students and the impressive 100% success rate with our premium exam support. Visit MyITCerts.com today and take first step towards guarantee success. 31. An NMS uses SNMP to query a router for the number of packets that have passed through its Gigabit Ethernet 0/1 interface. The NMS needs to know the specific identifier for this packets in counter. Where would the NMS find the definition and unique identifier for this specific piece of information on the router? A. In the router's routing table. B. In the router's ARP cache. C. In the router's management information base, MIB. D. In the router's size-log messages. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. In the router's management information base, MIB. Explanation. Option C is correct because the management information base, MIB, is a hierarchical database that defines all the manageable objects on a device. Each object, like an interface packet counter, has a unique object identifier, OID, that the NMS uses to request that specific piece of data via SNMP. Option A, in the router's routing table, is incorrect because it contains IP routing information, not SNMP manageable objects. Option B, in the router's ARP cache, is incorrect because it maps IP addresses to MAC addresses. Option D, in the router's size-log messages, is incorrect because these are event logs, not a database of queryable objects. 32. A network administrator is troubleshooting a VoIP quality issue. Users report choppy audio. The administrator suspects that excessive network delay or jitter might be the cause. Which monitoring technique would be most effective for analyzing the timing and sequence of individual VoIP packets to identify these issues? A. Reviewing SNMP interface error counters. B. Performing a full packet capture on the affected voice traffic path. C. Checking the CPU utilization of the edge router. D. Analyzing NetFlow data for bandwidth consumption. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. B. Performing a full packet capture on the affected voice traffic path. Explanation. Option B is correct because a full packet capture allows for the most detailed, granular analysis of the traffic. By examining the timestamps and sequence numbers of individual VoIP packets with a tool like Wireshark, an administrator can precisely measure latency, delay, and jitter, inter-packet delay variation, which are direct causes of choppy audio. Option A, reviewing SNMP interface error counters, is incorrect because this provides high-level error counts, not the per-packet timing information needed to analyze jitter. Option C, checking the CPU utilization of the edge router, is incorrect because while high CPU could be a root cause, packet capture directly shows the effect on the voice packets. Option D, analyzing NetFlow data for bandwidth consumption, is incorrect because NetFlow provides summary data about flows, not the detailed per-packet timing needed for deep VoIP analysis. 33. A company has a disaster recovery plan that specifies a recovery time objective, RTO, of 2 hours and a recovery point objective, RPO, of 15 minutes for its critical database server if a disaster strikes at 2 p.m. What does this mean? A. The server must be back online by 4 p.m. and the restored data should be no older than 1:45 p.m. B. The server can be down for a maximum of 15 minutes, and data loss can be up to 2 hours. C. Data backups must be performed every 2 hours, and repairs must be completed within 15 minutes. D. The system will automatically fail over in 15 minutes, and full recovery will take 2 hours. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. A. The server must be back online by 4 p.m. and the restored data should be no older than 1:45 p.m. Explanation. Option A is correct because it accurately interprets both metrics. RTO of 2 hours means the system must be recovered and operational within 2 hours of the disaster. 2 p.m. plus 2 hours equals 4 p.m. RPO of 15 minutes means the maximum acceptable data loss is 15 minutes, so the recovered data must be from a point no earlier than 1:45 p.m. Option B, the server can be down for a maximum of 15 minutes, and data loss can be up to 2 hours, is incorrect because it reverses the meanings of RTO and RPO. Option C, data backups must be performed every 2 hours, and repairs must be completed within 15 minutes, is incorrect because it misinterprets the objectives as operational tasks. Option D, the system will automatically fail over in 15 minutes, and full recovery will take 2 hours, is incorrect because it incorrectly assumes an automatic failover based on the RPO value. (34) A company utilizes a disaster recovery site that is fully equipped with all necessary hardware, software, and real-time replicated data from the primary site. In the event of a primary site failure, operations can be switched to this DR site almost instantaneously with minimal to no data loss. What type of DR site is this? A. Cold site. B. Warm site. C. Hot site or mirrored site. D. Mobile site. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Hot site, mirrored site. Explanation. Option C is correct because a hot site is a DR facility that is a fully functional duplicate of the production environment, complete with hardware, software, and up-to-date data. This allows for a very low RTO and RPO, enabling near-instantaneous failover. A mirrored site is a specific type of hot site with real-time replication. Option A, cold site, is incorrect because it has no pre-staged IT equipment. Option B, warm site, is incorrect because it has some equipment, but requires final configuration and data restoration. Option D, mobile site, is incorrect because it refers to a transportable DR facility, not a fixed site with this level of readiness. 35. A company is setting up a new network segment and wants client computers to automatically configure their IPv6 addresses without relying on a DHCPV6 server for address assignment, though DHCPV6 might still be used for other options like DNS servers. The clients will derive their interface ID from their MAC address, or generate a random one, and learn the network prefix and default gateway from router advertisements. What is this IPv6 auto-configuration method called? A. Manual static. IPv6 addressing. B. Stateful. DHCPV6. C. Stateless. Address auto-configuration. D. APIPA for IPv6. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Stateless. Address auto-configuration. Explanation. Option C is correct because stateless, address auto-configuration, is the IPv6 feature that allows a host to automatically generate its own link, local, and global unicast addresses. It uses router advertisement, RA messages from a local router, to learn the network prefix, and then creates the interface ID portion of the address itself. Option A, manual static IPv6 addressing, is incorrect because the process described is automatic. Option B, stateful DHCPV6, is incorrect because it involves a DHCPV6 server assigning and tracking the full IPv6 address, which is not what is described. Option D, a APIPA for IPv6, is incorrect because this refers specifically to the generation of a link local address, FE80/10, whereas SLAC is used to obtain a globally routable address. 36. A user is trying to access securemail.com/penny.com. Their DNS resolver needs to find the IP address for this host name. Which type of DNS record would specifically provide the IPv4 address for securemail.com/penny.com? A. A record. B. MX record. C. A record. D. PTR record. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. A record. Explanation. Option C is correct because an A, address record, is the fundamental DNS record type that maps a fully qualified domain name, host name, to its corresponding IPv4 address. Option A, a record, is incorrect because it maps a host name to an IPv6 address. Option B, MX record, is incorrect because it specifies the mail exchange servers for a domain used for routing email. Option D, PTR record, is incorrect because it performs the opposite function, mapping an IP address back to a hostname for reverse lookups. 37. To improve the privacy of DNS queries, a new protocol encrypts DNS requests and responses between a user's device and their DNS resolver, using the same encryption protocol that secures HTTPS web traffic. Queries are typically sent over TCP port 443. What is this protocol called? A. DNSSEC. B. DNS over TLS. C. DNS over HTTPS. DOH. T. Secure DNS, SDNS. Do you know the answer? Correct. Answer. C. DNS over HTTPS or DOH. Explanation. Option C correct because DNS over HTTPS, DOH, encapsulates DNS queries within the HTTPS protocol. This encrypts the DNS traffic and sends it over the standard HTTPS port 443, providing privacy and making the traffic indistinguishable from normal web traffic. Option A, DNSSEC, is incorrect because it provides data integrity and authentication, not transport layer encryption. Option B, DNS over TLS, DOT, is incorrect because while it also encrypts DNS queries, it uses TLS directly over a dedicated port, 853, not within HTTPS. Option D, Secure DNS, SDNS, is incorrect because it is a generic term, not a specific standard protocol like DOH. 38. A network administrator is setting up two distinct DNS servers for a domain, one that holds the master copy of the zone file and where all changes are made, and another that gets a read-only copy of the zone file from the master for redundancy and load distribution. What are these two DNS server roles called, respectively? A. Recursive and iterative. B. Authoritative and caching only. C. Primary master and secondary. Slave. D. Forward and reverse. Do you know the answer? Correct answer: C. Primary, master, and secondary, in slave. Explanation: Option C is correct because these are the standard terms for this relationship. The primary master server holds the writable master copy of the zone file. The secondary, slave, server maintains a read-only copy, which it periodically updates from the primary via a zone transfer. Option A, recursive and iterative, is incorrect because these terms describe types of DNS queries, not server roles in a zone. Option B, authoritative and caching only, is incorrect because both primary and secondary servers are authoritative for the zone. A caching-only server is a different role entirely. Option D, forward and reverse, is incorrect because these terms describe types of DNS lookup zones, not server roles. 39. A developer needs to automate interactions with a cloud-based network service, such as programmatically creating virtual networks or configuring firewall rules. Instead of using a web GUI or CLI, they want to write scripts that directly instruct the service. Which type of interface, often based on HTTPS, would the developer use for this programmatic interaction? A. Console port interface. B. SNMP interface. C. Application programming interface. API. D. Telnet interface. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer: C. Application Programming Interface, API. Explanation: Option C is correct because an Application Programming Interface, API, is specifically designed for programmatic, machine-to-machine interaction. Modern network services and cloud platforms provide APIs, often REST APIs using HTTP, to allow developers and administrators to automate tasks through scripts and software. Option A, Console Port Interface, is incorrect because it provides manual direct serial access, which is not suitable for automation at scale. Option B, SNMP Interface, is incorrect because it is primarily for monitoring, and while it supports some configuration, Certs, it is generally less flexible for complex automation than a full API. Option D, Telnet Interface, is incorrect because it is an insecure manual command line interface. 40. A network engineer needs to access the CLI of a switch. They consider two methods: connecting a serial cable from their laptop to the switch's console port, using SSH to connect to the switch's management IP address over the network. What are these two methods examples of, respectively? A. In-band and in-band management. B. Out-of-band and in-band management. C. In-band and out-of-band management. D. Out-of-band and out-of-band management. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer: B. Out-of-band and in-band management. Explanation: Option B is correct because connecting via the console port is a form of out-of-band management, as it uses a dedicated channel separate from the main data network. Connecting via SSH over the network is a form of in-band management because it uses the production data network to establish the connection. Option A, in-band and in-band management, is incorrect because the console connection is out-of-band. Option C, in-band and out-of-band management, is incorrect because it reverses the two methods. Option D, out-of-band and out-of-band management, is incorrect because the SSH connection is in-band. 41. A technician is preparing to replace a faulty network switch in a wiring closet. Before removing the old switch, they carefully note down which cable is plugged into which port on the old switch, and label each cable accordingly. What is the primary purpose of this meticulous documentation step? A. To update the asset inventory with the new switch model. B. To ensure all cables are reconnected to the correct ports on the new switch, maintaining existing network connectivity. C. To file a warranty claim for the faulty switch. D. To perform a wireless site survey of the closet. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. To ensure all cables are reconnected to the correct ports on the new switch, maintaining existing network connectivity. Explanation. Option B is correct because the primary purpose of labeling and documenting cable connections during a swap is to ensure a smooth transition. By reconnecting every cable to its correct corresponding port on the new switch, the technician maintains the existing network topology, VLAN assignments, and user connectivity without introducing errors. Option A, to update the asset inventory with the new switch model, is incorrect because this is an administrative task that is separate from the physical replacement procedure. Option C, to file a warranty claim for the faulty switch, is incorrect because this is a logistical task that does not depend on cable labeling. Option D, to perform a wireless site survey of the closet, is incorrect because it is completely irrelevant to replacing a wired switch. 42. A network monitoring tool shows a sudden, sustained spike in bandwidth utilization on the company's primary internet link, far exceeding normal levels. This could indicate a distributed denial of service, DDoS attack, or a legitimate but unexpected surge in traffic. This deviation from the typical established traffic patterns is an example of what? A. A baseline metric. B. An SNMP trap. C. A network anomaly. D. A MIB variable. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. A network anomaly. Explanation. Option C is correct because a network anomaly is any event or pattern that deviates from the expected normal behavior. A sudden, massive spike in traffic that is outside the established baseline is a classic example of an anomaly that requires investigation. Option A, a baseline metric, is incorrect because the baseline represents the normal, expected traffic pattern, which is what the current spike is being compared against. Option B, an SNMP trap, is incorrect because a trap is an alert message that might be sent as a result of detecting an anomaly, but it is not the anomaly itself. Option D, a MIB variable, is incorrect because it is a specific data point, like an interface counter, that is being measured. The anomaly is the unexpected value of that variable. 43. A company has two data centers. Data Center A is the primary site. Data Center B is the disaster recovery site. In this setup, Data Center A handles all production traffic. If Data Center A fails, services are manually failed over to Data Center B, which then becomes the production site. Data center B does not actively serve production traffic when data center A is operational. What type of high availability approach is this? A. Active-active. B. Active-passive. C. Load balancing. D. Network teaming. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, B. Active-passive. Explanation. Option B is correct because this scenario describes an active-passive configuration. One site, the active site, handles all the work, while the other site, the passive or standby site, is ready to take over only in the event of a failure. Option A, active-active, is incorrect because in that model, both data centers would be serving production traffic simultaneously. Option C, load balancing, is incorrect because it is a technique to distribute traffic, often used in active-active setups, but it is not the name for the overall HA architecture described. Option D, network teaming, is incorrect because it refers to link aggregation at a server or switch level, not a data center high availability strategy. 44. A company uses DHCP to assign IP addresses to client workstations to prevent the DHCP server from assigning IP addresses that are already statically configured on critical devices like servers and printers. What DHCP server configuration should be implemented? A. DHCP reservations for the workstations. B. Configuring DHCP options for DNS servers. C. Creating DHCP exclusions for the static IP addresses. D. Setting a very short DHCP lease time. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer, C. Creating DHCP exclusions for the static IP addresses. Explanation. Option C is correct because a DHCP exclusion is a range of IP addresses within a scope that the DHCP server is instructed not to assign. This feature is specifically designed to prevent the server from handing out an IP address that is already in use by a statically configured device, thus avoiding IP conflicts. Option A, DHCP reservations for the workstations, is incorrect because reservations are used to give the same IP to a specific DHCP client every time, not to block off IPs for static devices. Option B, configuring DHCP options for DNS servers, is incorrect because this provides additional network information to clients, unrelated to IP address assignment ranges. Option D, setting a very short DHCP lease time, is incorrect because this only affects how frequently clients must renew their IP address. 45. You are examining a DNS zone file and come across the following record. File server in CNAME mainserver.example.com. What is the purpose of this DNS record? A. It maps the IP address of file server to mainserver.example.com. B. It indicates that file server is an alias or an alternative name for mainserver.example.com. C. It specifies that mainserver.example.com is the mail server for the file server domain. D. It provides a textual description for file server. Do you know the answer? Correct answer, B. It indicates that file server is an alias or an alternative name for mainserver.example.com. Explanation. Option B is correct because a CNAME, canonical name, record is used to create an alias for another domain name. This record specifies that file server is just an alias for the true or canonical name, mainserver.example.com. A client querying for file server will be redirected to look up mainserver.example.com instead. Option A, it maps the IP address of file server to mainserver.example.com, is incorrect because a CNAME points to another name, not directly to an IP address. Option C. It specifies that mainserver.example.com is the mail server for the file server domain, is incorrect because this describes the function of an MX, or mail exchange, record. Option D. It provides a textual description for file server, is incorrect because this describes the function of a TXT, text record. 46. A network administrator is responsible for managing hundreds of routers and switches. To improve efficiency and reduce repetitive manual CLI work, they want to use scripts to automate configuration tasks and retrieve operational data. Which management access method is best suited for this type of programmatic automation at scale? A. Physical console port access for each device. B. Individual GUI access for each device. C. Utilizing the device's application programming interfaces, APIs, if available, or SSH for CLI scripting. D. Relying solely on SNMP traps for configuration changes. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. C. Utilizing the device's application programming interfaces, APIs, if available, or SSH for CLI scripting. Explanation. Option C is correct because APIs, like netcon/restthnif and scripted SSH, are designed for programmatic and automated interaction. They allow an administrator to push configurations and pull data from hundreds of devices efficiently and consistently, which is unfeasible with manual methods. Option A, physical console port access for each device, is incorrect because it is completely unscalable for automating tasks across many devices. Option B, individual GUI access for each device, is incorrect because it relies on manual human interaction and is not suitable for scripting or automation. Option D, relying solely on SNMP traps for configuration changes, is incorrect because traps are for receiving alerts from devices, not for pushing configurations to them. 47. When a network device like a router or firewall reaches the end of its useful life and is scheduled for replacement, a formal process should be followed to securely remove it from the network, wipe its configuration, and dispose of it properly. What is this lifecycle management phase called? A. Initial deployment. B. Configuration backup. C. Decommissioning. D. Patch management. Do you know the answer? Correct answer. C. Decommissioning. Explanation. Option C is correct because decommissioning is the formal process of retiring an IT asset. It includes all the steps for securely and safely taking a device out of the production environment, such as data wiping, configuration removal, and proper disposal. Option A, initial deployment, is incorrect because it is the beginning of the asset's life cycle. Option B, configuration backup, is incorrect because it is a single task that is performed throughout the life cycle, including just before decommissioning. Option D, patch management, is incorrect because it is an ongoing maintenance activity performed during the operational phase of the life cycle. 48. A network team wants to establish a normal for their network's performance, including typical bandwidth utilization, error rates on interfaces, and device CPU loads during peak hours. They plan to collect these metrics over a period of several weeks. What is the term for these established normal performance figures, against which future performance can be compared? A. Anomaly alerts. B. Real-time metrics. C. Baseline metrics. D. MIB objects. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. C. Baseline metrics. Explanation. Option C is correct because a baseline is a set of metrics collected over time that represents the normal, healthy operational state of a network or system. This baseline is essential for performance monitoring, capacity planning, and identifying anomalies when current performance deviates from the established norm. Option A, anomaly alerts, are incorrect because they are the notifications generated when performance deviates from the baseline. Option B, real-time metrics, are incorrect because they are to the current, live measurements, not the historical standard of what is normal. Option D, MIB objects, are incorrect because they are the specific variables that are monitored. The baseline is the collection and analysis of these variables over time. 49. A company wants to ensure that all NTP, Network Time Protocol traffic between its clients and internal NTP servers, is secured to prevent time spoofing or manipulation. Which NTP extension or related protocol specifically adds cryptographic security to NTP communications? A. Simple NTP, SNTP. B. Precision Time Protocol, PTP. C. NTP authentication using symmetric keys or Network Time Security, NTS. D. NTP broadcast mode. What do you think is the answer? Correct answer. C. NTP authentication using symmetric keys or Network Time Security, NTS. Explanation. Option C is correct because NTP has a built-in authentication mechanism that uses symmetric keys to ensure the integrity and authenticity of time packets. Furthermore, Network Time Security, NTS, is a newer, more robust standard that uses public key cryptography to secure the initial setup and provide ongoing security for NTP clients. Option A, Simple NTP and SNTP, is incorrect because it is a simplified version of NTP and does not inherently add security. Option B, Precision Time Protocol, PTP, is incorrect because it is a different, more precise time synchronization protocol, not a security extension for NTP. Option D, NTP broadcast mode, is incorrect because it describes a mode of operation, not a security feature. 50. Which of the following is the best reason to prefer out-of-band management, OOBM, over in-band management for critical network infrastructure devices like core routers and switches? A. OOBM is generally faster for transferring large configuration files. B. OOBM allows management access, even if the primary data network is down or misconfigured. C. OOBM typically uses more user-friendly graphical interfaces. D. OOBM requires less physical cabling than in-band management. Can you guess the answer? Correct answer. B. OOBM allows management access, even if the primary data network is down or misconfigured. Explanation. Option B is correct because the single most important advantage of out-of-band management is that it provides a separate, dedicated management path. This ensures that administrators can still access and repair a critical device, even when the production network, which in-band management relies on, is down, congested, or suffering from a configuration error that broke connectivity. Option A, OOBM is generally faster for transferring large configuration files, is incorrect because the speed depends on the specific link. For example, a slow dial-up modem versus a gigabit Ethernet link. An in-band is often faster. Option C, OOBM typically uses more user-friendly graphical interfaces, is incorrect because OOBM often relies on the command line interface via a console port. Option D, OOBM requires less physical cabling than in-band management, is incorrect because OOBM explicitly requires additional cabling for the separate management network or console connections. You have reached the end of our question set. For the complete exam preparation experience, visit us at MyITCerts.com, where you find thousands more practice questions and comprehensive study guides. You can study completely free using our study materials and questions, and ace your exams with confidence. Thank you for studying with us today. See you in the next video.